What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Droid Life Show today, episode 248. It is Friday, January 29th. I'm your host, Kellen, with Tim. Tim, say hi.
Hey, everyone. What is up? Tim here, back again. Thanks for tuning in.
Great to be here. Week off, now back because, today is a special launch day.
Whoa.
And we actually happen to have phones this time around. I know the last show, there was a big phone announcement and we did not have them. We do now.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about those. S21, S21 Ultra launch day is today. A bunch of other stuff to go through too, like these little guys, Buds Pro. Got Buds Pro. There's a bunch of Samsung One UI updates, and I call it Samsung the king of updates this week, which, I think we're divided. We're a divided country on that
Wow.
point, I think. Yeah.
And that's the only point, too. Other than that, unity all across the board.
Correct. Other than that, unity. Carl Pei, one of the OnePlus co-founders, has a new company, and he announced that this week. Not much to say there. Or I should say nothing to say there. Sony has a new phone that's just stupid, and we'll talk about that. We have trivia too, though. Trivia at the end of the show. If you're new around here, we do trivia at the end of every show where we throw out some questions. If you answer correctly, we give you prizes and things like that. It's a good time. What are we giving away this week?
Today we've got $10 of Google Play credit. So for there's an app you want, a movie you want, or if you want to pay for a few months of Google Drive storage, to help you with all your photos and videos on Google Photos, that is something you can do with Google Play credit. So we've got 5 $10 codes to give away this week.
Awesome. Okay. And I should also throw out the fact that this week's show is sponsored by Ewin, or Ewin Racing, gaming chairs, computer chairs. We are sitting in them right now. Do you want to talk a little bit about Ewin?
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know about Kellen. I think you've been using yours about the same amount of time as me, but I've been using this chair for about 6 or more than 6 months, and I'm still sitting in it. And so I don't know about y'all, but my tushy is pretty particular when it comes to the chairs, and fantastic chair. So I reviewed them in the past, and really the main takeaway is that for a pretty darn good price, the chairs start around like $250, $300. And they're always running specials on them, so maybe sometimes you can get them cheaper. It's a really quality chair. Like, the leather is nice, the cushion is great, you got great lumbar support, and I'm not just making this up. It's actually a comfortable chair, and it's held up really well. And you got that tilt, which is great, because I don't know about y'all, but since I work from home, and I have for quite some time, I'm the king of like the tilt and working from the tilt position. I know if you're in an office environment. Yeah, see, I can do that. And I'm really good at it. So not everyone can use that tilt functionality while working, but it is doable. So real quickly, if you go to Ewin's site and you use the code DroidLife, DroidLife, no commas, no spaces, no nothing, you will get 30% off. And with 30% off, you can get like a $300 chair for $200, and that's a pretty darn good deal. So we've got a campaign going with Ewin, and we do have something special down the road. I can't provide details quite yet, but we are cooking. Yeah, we're cooking with Ewin Racing. So check them out, and thank you very much for your time.
All right, so we should dive in. Obviously, just to S21 Ultra launch day, because not only do we have phones, a number of you probably do as well. Assuming you pre-ordered, your pre-orders, ours showed up 2 days ago. So I'd imagine most people have had theirs for a couple of days now. So let's see. For being launch day, you could walk into a store and buy them if you want. You couldn't do that previously. But yeah, if you ordered them, you should have it by now. So Tim has the Ultra. I have the regular S21. There's also an S21 Plus in there. Kind of like last year, we're probably never going to touch the S21 Plus because we kind of went with the most affordable, small option. And then Tim went with the big dog, the fully spec'd out, most expensive option. So we kind of covered you on both ends of the spectrum there rather than the Plus. And I don't know, is is that like an option people are considering? Because I feel like
Don't think
you
so.
either go with the cheap one or then you just jump to the most expensive. I guess you could sit in the middle there, but especially this year though, the Plus you're just spending more for. You don't get anything extra other than a slightly bigger screen, but maybe that's what people want, is just a slightly bigger screen. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, well,
I
now
guess
that
you
you
get
ask,
glass.
yeah, I have to look up the poll and see which one people are buying. The majority of folks say they weren't buying the S21, and then you've got people buying the S21 Ultra, then the S21, and with only 3% of the vote, the S21 Plus.
Okay, so
So,
yeah, it is the one to
yeah.
ignore. All right, good. So we bought the right ones. So they're still running quite a few promos on these. Like, I know it's launch day and you kind of think like, oh, that pre-order deal where it was like 700 off for trade-ins and things like that is done. It's actually not. They're still running 700 off for trade-ins, and then a bunch of other phones are at 550 off. And the only thing that really changed is they were giving you a $200 up to $200 off instant credit to spend on accessories like buds and things like that. If you bought the Ultra, it was 200. I think it was like 150 if you went S21 Plus, and then it was 100, I believe, on the S21. So the only thing that changed there is that dropped a little bit. They're doing $150 credit for the Ultra, 125 for the S21 Plus, and 100 for the S21. So it's basically like the same deal. You can still get Samsung's sort of ridiculous trade-in value. That won't last forever though, that $700. So if you haven't taken advantage of that, you might want to do that now. All right, so we've each had it for a couple days. Do you want to do a little impressions thing? I mean, you have the one that everyone cares about. It's the Ultra. It's the only one where they actually improved a bunch of stuff. The 21, which I'll get to, they didn't really improve much, but yours, they lowered the price $200 and supposedly fixed the cameras. I don't know how much you've played with the cameras, but we got quad HD variable 120 hertz refresh rate now. Last year it was like only at full HD. They didn't really change the battery size, but the design looks updated. We got matte black. It looks hot as hell. I don't know. You just kind of take it away here on the Ultra after like 2 days.
Yeah, sure. So let's take a step back and start from the beginning. Obviously, you and I had to pre-order the devices. We weren't in the graces of Samsung this year. Hey, that's okay. No big deal. The problem is last year, or not even last year, but I think for the Note 20s, Samsung was really good about sending out the pre-order email well ahead of time. Like before they went live, right? So like if you pre-order, or if you registered for the device to be notified when the pre-order was live, they were early with it. This year, they were late as hell with it. So they were offering more credit, more instant credit when you purchase through that email, which didn't come until later in the day for me. Does this make
I know what you're
sense?
saying. Yeah, I see what
Yeah,
you're saying.
so I had to order the Note 20, the S21 Ultra and only get the $200 of instant credit and not the $250, which they were offering to those who. So I feel cheated to begin with, and I had to order because I was worried if I didn't order in time, my shipment would be pushed back like other people's, or like I can't take that risk. I need the phone as soon as possible. So already I'm pissed. And so with that, with the 250, I wanted to be able to get like an S Pen and the buds, but now I ended up just having to get the buds. And I'll use one of my old Note S Pens. Anyways,
how much is the S Pen, by the way? I haven't even
dude, I don't
looked.
even
who's
know.
Who's gonna buy that?
It's got to be like $40, right? Something like that.
It probably is something stupidly expensive. I'm looking right now, by the way. Feel free to keep talking.
Yeah, totally. So
$40.
Yeah, $40. So already I was a little upset, but either way, I got the phone on Wednesday, opened up, I did the unboxing video, and that was basically my first impressions. The phone, oh man, coming from the Pixel 5, which is like a miniature device compared to this thing. Like, I just picked up the Pixel 5 again and it feels so good. This phone is a chonker. Like this thing is big. It's humongous, 6.8 inch. Obviously,
do the head comparison.
Well, yeah, I mean it's freaking.
It's so big.
It's really large, and it's large. It's thick, and of course it's got this module that kind of sticks out, and the module is a little sharp on the top. I don't know about yours, but Yeah, I mean, I feel like I was kind of hoping in the previous leaks, we thought that maybe these cameras were a bit more flush, ever so slightly, and it's not as flush as I thought it was going to be.
It's
Yours looks a
on
bit
this
better.
one, it's more flush, and so it's not
Yeah.
as noticeable. But yeah, you got the big dog.
I've got stupid space zoom,
You do.
100x space zoom, so mine needs to
You
stick
do.
out a little further. But obviously, like you said, this one has all the specs. I didn't get the super spec'd out version. I just have the 12 gig model, 128 gig storage, and that's another thing. We're talking about a $1,200 phone that starts at 128 gigs of storage with no micro SD card. That's like sort of a slap to the face of super users who were spending $1,200. Let's just keep it real. Overall impressions, though. So the display is ridiculous. It's got that adaptive 120 hertz display. I can tell when the refresh is over 60, but I notice it really. I haven't noticed it in particular apps. Like I couldn't tell you like, oh, well, for sure it's in Google Play. I feel like that app stutters all over the place in terms of frame
It's a
rate.
terrible app. I think that's just a terrible app. Google Play is just awful in general.
I totally agree with you. There's other apps where the interface just looks kind of stuttery. Like this is not 120 hertz. This isn't even 90 hertz. Like I can see the difference now that I'm used to living with 90 hertz on the Pixel 5 and then dropping below that. It's just like, oh, it's stuttering.
Yeah,
And so other than that, so like I want to say performance is good, but I wish I had the option to lock in. Maybe there is. I haven't even checked developer
there
settings.
isn't.
Maybe. Okay, see
Oh, I
that's
haven't looked at developer settings.
yeah, like is there a way I wonder to lock, the higher frame rate? I really wish that they made that an option. Just let people know like, hey, this is going to drain your battery. They do it when you up the resolution, right? So it's great. They gave us the quad HD at 120 hertz, but I don't even know when I'm looking at 120 hertz with quad HD. Like there's like a disconnect there. Like you give us the power, but then you sort of limit the power. It's kind of weird.
It actually
Um,
really bugs me.
yeah,
Because like this is the weird conspiracy theorist in me. I'm like, you're not giving me 120 hertz when I want it, and I start to look for stutters, and I'm like, oh, does that little skip right there? Does that mean I'm not at 120? So give me the option. There should be three. There's standard, which just drops everything to 60, and then there's
yep,
adaptive, which
yes,
variable rate up to 120. Because so the regular this has it too. There should be a third that says all the time,
lock.
drain the shit out of my battery. Like I will go with that option because I want to know that it's constantly running. And maybe there is a developer setting for it, or somebody will find a way to force it on at all times. I'm sure I'll have to be a root bro in order to do that. But
Most
yeah, I don't want it to be variable. Because remember when Google did that? And now I know this is probably a bad example because Google's awful about this. But when
mm,
they released the Pixel 4, remember that was their first 90 hertz, and they capped it at like all these terrible levels of brightness and all this
yeah.
stuff. So it was never smooth, and everyone got really mad, and they had to change it. This one, I just don't know. And
Scott
yeah, see,
McDonald. Oh, sorry. I was gonna say Scott McDonald in the
yeah.
chat says you can enable to show the frame rate from the dev settings, which is like, that's great. Like I'll be able to see
But do
what
you
my phone
want
is
that on
doing.
your screen all the
It's
time?
yeah. It's not that I want that. It's that I want control over the refresh rate, right? Like if someone's buying a PC monitor that has 240 hertz, like I feel like I need to be able to lock that or something, right? If I'm a speed runner and I need those high refresh rates, I mean, I need to be able to glitch through a wall, man. And that's what I want to do on my smartphone.
Yes.
So that's the refresh rate talk. Other than that, the display is so bright. This phone gets ridiculously bright right now.
Yeah,
Like in
really
order, like
bright.
you could see the display. Like it's basically on 0, and you can crank it up, and it's gonna tell you it's gonna drain all the batteries. But like this thing gets really bright.
Yeah,
So
they
so that's
improve
nice.
brightness quite a bit. I mean, I
Yeah.
even noticed it on mine. Like I the first like hour using it, I went, "Wow, this is really bright. I must have it cranked up." And I pulled the thing, and it was yeah, where yours is. It was almost to the end. I
Yeah.
went, "Jesus!" And so, but you can crank it down, and it goes very dark
Very
too.
low.
So, but
Yeah.
it's very touchy. So if you want to go crazy bright, you can. Yeah.
Yeah. Next up, gotta talk about battery life. So the S21 Ultra, 5,000 milliamp hour. We're talking that's the big boy battery.
Hmm.
That's right below a tablet basically, and it's
That thing
good.
is a tablet.
Yeah, it's good. I'm obviously using the device a lot. Like I had to, set the device up, and I always feel like it takes a few days in order for it to
Yeah.
really kind of find its groove and my usage patterns. Right now I'm at 92%. I haven't really used the phone all too much this morning. I think I was watching some YouTube earlier. Um, the battery life seems okay. I can't really give you I can't give you a 1 to 10 right now just because it might not be accurate to what the phone is
for
capable
one day.
of. Exactly. I mean, yeah, I've had it literally one day. So the cameras, I've taken a few pictures. The autofocus seems really good. The shutter speed seems good, but that's like the limit of my testing. I haven't really dove into shooting complex things or anything.
Yeah.
And gosh, what else is there? I mean,
One UI 3.1.
Oh yeah. So the biggest aspect of it is from the home screen you can swipe over and you get Google Discover. I mean, that really is beautiful. Being able to swipe over to Google Discover and see all the articles on Droid Life, because those guys are awesome.
Very awesome.
Yeah, I absolutely love Google Discover and reading Droid Life. So that's nice. You know, there's a couple of things like Samsung does weirdly, which I don't really appreciate. You know, baking Bixby into the power button, which is not new or exclusive to the S21 line or One UI 3.1, but it's just something that irks me, having to switch those side key settings as soon as you get out of the box. Not only that, but then having to ensure you enable the devices and media pull down in the notification menu to get your like Google Home toggles for the smart things in your home. That's annoying. Like, I wish you could just hit the power button and all your things were baked into there like it is in Android 11 on Pixel devices. There's just like little things like that coming from the Pixel 5, you know, are obviously different on the Samsung devices.
Yeah, because what you're talking about right there, where you can switch to Google Home to have your device thing, that's usually a setting I turn off because I don't like smart things crap anywhere on my phone.
Exactly.
But now, because they didn't put that in the power menu like Android 11 has, now I feel like I have to turn that thing on if I want to use those shortcuts. And yeah, it's like this could have been fixed if you just would have put it in your power. I mean, because like you just showed, look at all the space that could have been used in there. And maybe it's not intuitive to hold a power button or something to get to that, but yeah, I'm kind of with you. I mean, I'll have to get used to using that little shortcut, but
exactly. Yes. So like there are little things. Obviously it's not a plastic device. This thing it's heavy, it's big. It's just such a completely different experience than the Pixel 5.
Yeah.
I really
miss
a
shocker, I bet.
It's a total shocker, man. But so tips and tricks coming soon. If you haven't already, check out our unboxing that's live on the channel. I'll have tips and tricks for this guy coming up. Kellen's going to do the first 10 things to do with the S21 because people have been clamoring for that. Apparently, like Twitter's blowing up. Hashtag first 10 things to do. It's crazy. It's trending.
Really, it's a big deal. Yeah,
it's #1 in the U.S., man.
Well, yeah, and you know, like every other YouTuber on the planet has copied that from us now. So, and by the time we get the phones, doesn't even matter because every other YouTuber copied and is like, first 21 things.
Dude, I was just gonna say that.
Great original idea, guys.
Where'd
you get that from?
The 21 things to do. It's pretty clever. Yeah, not sure where they came up with that.
Yeah, where'd you get that idea?
Props to all the YouTubers out there with less followers than we have.
YouTuber friends.
Yeah. Anyway,
they probably get review units, so.
Oh yes, absolutely. Oh, you got 10,000 subs? Here's a couple of units. Someone was asking about heating issues. No heating. This phone hasn't gotten hot to the touch whatsoever. No issues like that. Snapdragon 888 processor. That's, you know, I feel like that's something no one's really talking about because like I haven't really noticed anything. Like I'm not like, oh man, my God, this phone is so fast. Yeah, I'm not. And well, maybe that's because I only have the 12 gig version and not the 16 gig of RAM version.
It's definitely
oh my goodness! I'm sorry, I'm not spending $1,500 on a phone anymore. It's stupid. If I want my big money phone, I got my Fold 2. So that's the S21 Ultra review coming next week. We'll try and expedite it just because we're so behind the curve, and we want, you know, if anyone's waiting for our opinion on it, we want to be able to provide it. So yeah, shout out Samsung. And yeah, that's all I have to say.
Love you, Samsung.
Haters, dude. We are haters.
Yeah, well, whatever. So I have an S21. I think people care a little bit about the S21, which is great. Uh, so let's see. I'll run through some of the same things you talked about. Well, first of all, the design is a nice looking little phone. I went with the white.
Yeah.
In the plastic model, which is the regular S21, it's what, purple and gold, which hell no.
Looks
White. Great. Or there was a black version, but it was more of a gray, not that really cool matte black like you got. So they kind of screwed the plastic folks on the black version. Anyway, we went with white. It's been a while since I've had a white phone. Kind of weird. The phone feels pretty good. It has a flat display, which I think yours has that awful curved display. So I appreciate the flatness. What I do like about it is it's similar size. I don't have the Pixel 5 sitting here. It's behind me, I think. This is pretty close to the size of the Pixel 5, so it hasn't been that shocking transition like you're dealing with. It's taller, but it's about the same width, so it's pretty easy to hold. So far, like the phone, it's really nice. The plastic on the back, like it's definitely feels like plastic. It doesn't. Like this doesn't feel, I mean, it's an $800 phone. I don't want to say that's not expensive, but last year this was a $1,000 phone because it had glass. And I guess like glass makes it feel like it should be more expensive, which, is one of the silliest things ever. So it doesn't feel like the most premium phone I've ever held, which I don't really care because having plastic, you set your phone down and you worry less without a case. So I do appreciate that. The display looks great, like you mentioned. The brightness is crazy. The refresh rate's nice. The fingerprint reader is pretty solid. This is that new and improved Qualcomm fingerprint reader. It's actually pretty fast. So I do appreciate that. And it does seem like it has a bigger surface area. Like I feel like you have more room to just kind of throw your finger on there and it'll work. It's not as fast as the Pixel 5's rear fingerprint reader, I don't think. It doesn't have that instant satisfaction. Like you put your finger on and it's pretty fast, but it doesn't give you that, I don't know. There's just a certain thing about those old school fingerprints where you put your finger on there, instantly gives you that little vibration and unlocks. Whereas this, you're kind of waiting for software to catch up still just a little. What else? Battery life on this. I'm kind of with Tim. I can't really give you a 1 to 10 rating. I will say that yesterday was my first full day and I got to 5 hours of screen on time. And at night when I went to bed, it was about 10 to 15% battery left, which is fine. That's pretty heavy usage. That said, my Pixel 5, I was hammering on it the same, and I never come close to 15%. Like the battery life in the Pixel 5, I don't think you guys understand how crazy it is. So it was a little weird to see the sort of warning on this phone go, hey, battery life's about done. And I was like, whoa, I haven't seen that in a long time. So I'm not concerned because like I think it just needs to warm up a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be any sort of battery champ. Haven't used the camera a ton, but it's the same exact camera from last year's S20. I know there's a Snapdragon 88 powering it, so there's a chance, there's some extra AI camera magic going on there. It might improve image quality. I'll certainly test that. I'm not holding out hope that it's gonna, be a game changer. They didn't really do anything. Yours is the phone that has the new camera setup. So, what else? It reminds me. I told Tim yesterday. It reminds me of an LG phone. Which is like, you can't say that probably, but the design and everything and the feel of it in hand reminds me of the LG G6, which is a phone from a long time ago. I don't think there's anything remarkable about the S21 yet. I think it's really good. I think at $800 they're making it slightly more affordable. We've gone through the list of all the stuff they cut, right? The RAM's down to 8 gig, which is fine. The Pixel 5 that I love has 8 gig RAM. I don't really care. I'm just saying, like, we're dropping some things. The storage at 128 with no SD card slot. So if you pay $800 for this and you plan on keeping it for 2 to 3 years, is 128 gig going to be enough? Because if it's not, you don't have the option to throw in more. Otherwise, though, it seems pretty nice. Again, we'll have reviews up shortly. So,
yeah,
I think Samsung did an okay job. I'm not blown away, and the reason I bring that up is because I really liked the S20. Last year, the S20 was my favorite phone of the year until the Pixel 5 sort of stole that at the end of the year.
Sure.
This phone, you know, I'm kind of eyeing the Pixel 5 already a little bit after one day.
Yeah, see, I don't see myself using this phone past when I'm done reviewing it. I feel like I'll be back on the Pixel 5. And
Weird,
that's
right?
yeah, and that's how I know like I like the Pixel because I want to be back with it. I miss her. Yeah. So.
And last year, so you know, I went from Pixel 4 XL and then the S20 came out. And I think I wrote about this, how most years I jump right back to the Pixel. Last year, I didn't even consider it. The S20, I was like, this is my phone. This phone is dope. Yeah. I'm sticking with this. See you later, Pixel 4 forever. And then they killed the Pixel 4 like 2 months later. So it was the right choice. This phone, I don't quite have that feeling yet. So maybe that'll change. We got some time to test. So not throwing in the towel on the S21 yet.
Yeah, it seems super unlikely for you. You know, not to speak for you or anything, but usually you're pretty quick about that sort of thing. Like you instantly said you weren't very smitten with the device, so I'm not expecting like a big change of heart over the next few days.
The only thing I will say to that is, remember when the Pixel 5 came out, we did a show and I kind of dumped all over it, right? Yeah. And then when I got to the review, I went, I really like this phone. It definitely had a change of heart. So while normally, yes, I dump on things and that sticks in the brain, the Pixel 5 did change me. And now I absolutely adore that phone. So who knows? Maybe I'll, give this thing a week and I will just, it'll be the phone, maybe.
Yes. And the Pixel 4 was garbage.
It was
Fillmore
garbage.
James, he was asking. It was just a really bad device.
It was a really bad device.
So
one thing I would bring up is Samsung's One UI.
Oh.
It's just really good.
Really? Wow.
I think I just like how it's maturing into... It's a little bloated. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like it's matured into its own thing. Like, yes, it runs Android, but it's Samsung One UI. Like, this isn't really Android. It borrows some things here that Google might implement, but it does so much crap. And maybe people don't want that, but I don't know. There's just something about, like, it feels like a really polished operating system. And not that it doesn't on the Pixel or other phones, but it feels like Samsung has really made this their own, and not in like the terrible way that like Oppo phone skins are or like Xiaomi phone skins are. Like, I don't like that style. This feels like their own thing that they've really sort of developed into, the mature version of Samsung's software vision that I think they probably wanted. And then the Google feed, of course, I appreciate. They did back away a little bit there. I like One UI and where it's gone. That may change also in the next year, because I feel like we're approaching the point where Samsung is gonna overdo it. But for now, I like it.
Yeah, there's so much.
There's so much crap,
packed into these, these settings menus. I haven't even really dove in too much. I just opened up advanced features for the first time, and it's just like, oh hell. Like, I mean, this tips and tricks video is going to be like 40 minutes long, and I'm not looking forward to it, man.
I think almost all of our first 10 things, tips and tricks Samsung videos these days are 30 they're
minutes.
At least 25 minutes.
Oh, at least, yeah. And it's really it's so silly.
There's just so much stuff, but the first 10 things video with these, I feel like is so important, because you really do have to go through and just turn crap off or change it to get, like you talked about, the Bixby power button thing. Although I will say, when I set this up, I based it off of the Galaxy Fold 2, which I had changed all those settings. It actually carried all of that stuff over.
Yes, it did.
Which if I would have like set up from the Pixel 5, obviously that stuff wouldn't have. So I will say that Samsung, that process too has gotten somewhat better, their setup. Although they do this really weird thing when they try to install your apps. They kind of try to transfer the apps and then over from an old phone and then install them. And that process actually takes way too long.
It does. And then also...
but they'll pull over your home screen setup though if you use Samsung phone, which... I feel like Google needs like an API to set up home screens or something when you do that. Because Jesus.
Yeah, they need to do something. Man, I had a point, but I forget it. It must not have been very important.
It probably was very important. Dave Bonine asks, "Are there any stutters?" No, I don't really think so. The phone's smooth and it's fast. Seems pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's what I wanted to say. A lot of Microsoft stuff, you know, kind of built in, which I disabled all of that.
Well, and you and I have the unlocked versions, and there's a ton of Microsoft crap. Yeah. I know that a lot of people are Microsoft users, and they probably love all that.
Sure. We aren't.
I'm not. No. And so I tried to get rid of almost all of that as well. And the Samsung ecosystem is growing at a rate I do not. What is Samsung TV Plus? And what the hell is Samsung Free? I have no idea what these things are. And you can't even this Samsung Free thing. I seriously don't know what it is. I can't even disable it. I don't know what this is. Yeah. I think it has to do with Samsung TV Plus because I think I opened it once. Oh, someone says free used to be Flipboard. Are you sure? If I tap this, it brings up... Yeah, see, it brought up... If I tapped free, it opened Samsung TV Plus is what it brought up. Oh, I can read stuff and watch stuff and play games. Yeah. Jesus. It is. So I have Samsung Free now, which is a reader, watcher, and game advertisement system. But I also have Samsung Galaxy Store, which is their unnecessary app store. And then I also have Galaxy Shop. I couldn't tell you the difference between Galaxy Shop and Galaxy Store, but I have 3 things now. I mean, so that is one thing, is Samsung's bloatware is a little out of control, especially if they're not going to... Oh, I also have an app called Shop Samsung. Wait, what is the difference between Sam's Galaxy Shop and Shop Sam? Holy Oh, there's a Smart Things app, which I will never use. Of course, there's Smart Switch. Samsung Pay, by the way, this is probably a story worth writing. Samsung Pay is worthless now. Like, I don't know why you would use that over Google Pay, because they got rid of that reward system, didn't they? And then they also just killed MST. So why would you use that over Google Pay? I know I'm ranting on here, but as much as I like what One UI is, the app situation that they're preloading on here is...
Yeah.
I bought an unlocked version because I didn't want bloatware, but Samsung's like, don't you think you're getting away from this?
Yeah.
Shop is hardware, store is app store. Yeah, I get that I'm exaggerating a little bit here, but why do we need 3 or 4 different app stores and...
store apps like
TV apps and shit? Like, what? I don't need all this crap.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. People keep asking about those buds too. You want to talk about Galaxy buds right quick?
Yeah, there's not really much else to say about the S21, right? Tim and I are in full review mode, so we'll have lots to talk about. I don't want to give you any definitive feelings about anything. So yeah. Buds Pro. What color did you get at the old Buds Pro?
Oh, black, of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, otherwise it was that weird purple or silver.
Oh my god. That purple is so ugly.
It's pretty bad. It's just like on the phone. So yeah, Buds Pro, I've used them a little bit. I don't think that I've definitely don't have any definitive thoughts here. One thing, when I use them, wireless buds like this during the show and connect them to this Windows PC, you guys know how many issues I've had with the Pixel buds, the OnePlus buds.
The crap.
I haven't had a single stutter disconnection at all. So that's good. That's a first plus there. These buds sound pretty good though. They sound better than the buds live. They sound better than the Pixel buds. Sound better than the OnePlus buds. I would put them, I need to do a pull one bud out thing and do with the Jobber 75Ts that I have, because those are kind of the sound king in my arsenal of buds at the moment. But these sound pretty damn good. I don't know if the ANC is actually any good in it. I've toggled it off and on several times, and I don't feel like it blocks out that much. Right. So I don't know that the ANC is great. I think they sound good though, the music and audio, which is the whole point. Um, battery life's not supposed to be amazing. I think it's like 5 hours with ANC on or 6 with it off. Whereas the Buds Plus that you loved from last year were 11 hours or something absurd. So I do like them. They fit out of the box good. I didn't have to change the tips or anything. They fit pretty good. They're a little bulky, I guess, but so were the Buds Plus, and they were fine. So far I like them. I'll use them probably for a while going forward. We'll get back to you with some sort of review on them, but
Yeah,
good.
I was initially really excited for that conversation listener auto detect for the voice stuff, and then I realized how often like I hum the music
Oh,
while I'm walking
and
dogs or I
and
talk
then
to
it goes
my dogs.
quiet.
And it goes quiet, and I'm like, oh my god, can't it be smart enough to realize I'm actually like talking to someone? I know like it would be very hard to program that, but like maybe it could like listen to the melody and realize that, well, maybe because I sing so out of pitch and it's like, oh, there's no way he's actually trying to sing the song, right? Because it's so bad. But like it was just something. So I had to disable that, and I was actually looking forward to that feature quite a bit. So that's a little unfortunate.
I had to turn it off too.
Yeah, it was just like it was like too sensitive almost. Even like I would talk for like a second and it would just like go
It's
quiet.
very
And I'm like,
sensitive.
okay, never mind.
Yeah.
It's not cool. Other than that, I think they fit good. They sound good. Obviously, I'm coming from the Jabra Elite 85Ts, which are like freaking amazing earbuds. Those things sound killer, so much bass. Um, so it's kind of hard to beat those, man. But at 199 noise cancellation, they're okay. They're a lot better than the Beans, the Galaxy Beans Live, whatever. And they look okay. I'm not like a huge fan of this like glossy kind of look that Samsung does with their buds. I'd rather have like a matte maybe, but
Like this, like the case is matte. Why not
why?
make the
Yeah,
buds? Because they are kind of
exactly.
glossy.
I don't get it. I mean, yeah, like this is matte. Like it makes sense. Everything's matte except for the
Except
freaking
these
buds,
are
dude. It's so
glossy.
weird.
It is,
Anyway,
and matte. Like we keep bringing up the Jobbers because we're both been using those for a little while. They're matte. They look great. Yeah, I don't need the shine in the ear. Do we
no,
want
it's not
shine in our
bling bling.
ears?
No, I don't want my things to look like oily or greasy or anything. I want my ears to look matte.
Yeah. Oh, I think I'm losing you. If everyone can still see me, Tim is lagging out. We'll give him a minute.
Shine. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're sort of coming back.
And you like stuttered. Okay, no,
Yeah.
I was gonna say you are stuttering so hard, my guy.
No, we lost you. Yeah,
Okay, sorry.
you're coming
Um,
back now.
I was talking about Samsung Pay and Google Pay, and
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
I
because
don't have.
everyone's having quite the conversation about them in the chat.
Yeah, and so now with Samsung Pay not really having MST, I mean, if you have a Samsung phone, I guess you could just keep using Samsung Pay, but you aren't getting points anymore.
Right.
There's no benefit to Samsung Pay,
Not really. No.
unless you already have like reward stuff kind of locked in there. I feel like I would just use Google Pay, but hey, man, to each their own. That's why there's options, right? We don't need to fight. Can't everyone just get along? Anyway.
I've just given all of my life over to Google services, so it just works that way. To just
Yeah.
use theirs. Like I seriously installed the new Google Pay. I turned off Samsung Pay. There's no MST, so you don't get that added benefit.
Mm.
And I just like all of my account history of payments and stuff to just be in Google Pay because that's what I've used forever. I know that you were a big Samsung Pay user because you loved MST so much, but
Yeah, but
whatever.
now there's no real benefit. So
Yeah. I mean, they both work, like you said, but so anyway, these buds are good. $200 is a lot of money for a wireless bud. So I will certainly have to get back to you on whether or not they're going to be worth considering. Thankfully, Samsung constantly hosts discounts on their buds. I mean, the Buds Live came out not that long ago. Wait, did the Buds Live just come out with a Note 20? Are they that new? They're not even old.
yes. Yeah, they came out with the Note 20.
And they're already severely discounted. I think you can get them for $140 or something now. Don't buy them. They're not great.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're not
they're
great.
bad. They are bad.
They don't
Like,
sound very good, do they?
not only do they not like sound great, but they just aren't even comfortable like in your ear. Like I kind of hate them.
Yeah, I have a pair that I've worn a handful of times, and I was just so not impressed by the audio quality that I don't think I wore them long enough to know if they're uncomfortable or not.
Yeah.
I would just say, yeah, don't. Even if the beans go really, really cheap, it would be tough. I would say look for the Buds Plus if they're really cheap,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then get these if they're discounted. Is kind of where I would lean there. Yeah.
Totally.
All right. So Samsung One UI. We talked a little bit about that, but one thing Samsung's doing right now is pushing updates out to everything, which is got some praise from me weirdly this week. But so this week the Galaxy Z Fold 2, the unlocked model that Tim and I have, finally got its Android 11. We were basically last. There's phones like the S10e was getting Android 11, and our $2,000 Z Fold 2 wasn't. Anyway, so all the Z Fold 2s now are updated. And then the Galaxy Tab S7 line is getting updated as well. And their list of what's getting Android 11 it's long. But anything released phone-wise in the last 2 years pretty much has gotten the update, which is pretty wild. I mean, I know it's January and September was when Android 11 dropped, but they've steadily from early December, basically they took 2 months and updated almost all of their devices. So Android 11 dropped in September. Then in October, they opened up a beta. So they did do a beta for 2 months for several devices there as well. And then December through January, they've updated to stable. So I called them the king of updates this week, king of Android updates this week.
Yeah.
I know not everyone is going to agree with me, and you're wrong, but I appreciate that you have a wrong opinion. They update better than anyone if you look at the entire picture. And I know Canon Google drops the updates day one. I get it.
They don't
security patches. Yeah, Google doesn't. Yeah, I would kind of argue that actually that Google doesn't really count. Like it's their operating system. They have 2 phones to support at a time, basically. Okay, they have more than 2.
Dude.
They have like 3 or 4. So it's their operating system. They have like 3 or 4 phones that only like 20,000 people own of each model. They should be updating immediately, right? They should be. Okay, so Google kind of counts, but when you start bringing in what Samsung's doing, so Samsung, sure, they took 2 months before they updated to stable their first one, right? 3 months, I guess. Now they've updated. I couldn't even keep track. I tried to kind of count. I came up with at least 14, and I think it's maybe even more than that, because if I don't think I even included the Tab 7. So in my list. So we're at like 15, 16, 17 different devices that Samsung has already updated to Android 11 before the end of January. I know we all wish they did this at the end of October, but no one else has updated anything. Like OnePlus, they were really quick with the OnePlus 8 and 8 Pro. They got Android 11 and Oxygen OS 11 really quickly. And then they launched the 8T with Android 11. So great. I'm glad they did. That's it though. The OnePlus 7s had a big setback. They're now months behind. The 6Ts and all these other ones, they have not updated those to stable. LG and Motorola haven't updated a single device. Sony's updated some overseas, not in the US. And again, Samsung is at 15, 16, 17 different devices. And you also have to remember that Samsung actually sells phones, unlike all of these other companies. Samsung sells millions upon millions upon millions that you can, like the numbers when you compare Samsung to OnePlus and Google, I mean, they're not actually something that can be compared. That's how far apart. The only comparison you can make is to Apple. It used to be Huawei and they've dipped a little bit, but you know what I mean? Like it's just another galaxy.
I see what you did there. Yeah. Well, so, there's more, say, when they update the Galaxy S10 line, they have officially updated more devices than OnePlus and Google have updated in their entire span, right? Of updates.
I mean, you could even drop that further to just like the Galaxy S10e, which no one really bought. There's probably more S10es live in the wild than all Pixel phones combined. Let's just put it that way. When they push an update out, it affects
millions
so
of
many
people.
freaking people. So that's why it takes them a while to get there. On the other side, to add on to that, we talk about how Google's really fast. Google does 3 years of OS updates and 3 years of security updates. Well, Samsung has now matched them. Samsung now says we're doing 3 years, and they backdated that to the S10, I believe. So they're now doing 3 years, but Samsung does 4 years of security updates. Google does 3, Samsung's doing 4. And while that 4th year is often quarterly instead of monthly security updates, they're still doing it for 4 years. So you can buy a Samsung phone and get updates for 4 years. No one else is doing that. Obviously, Apple does it. Apple's different. So anyway, Samsung is the king of Android updates, and I will hear no other incorrect opinions.
Yeah. I'm totally with you. I mean, I know we had a lot of people kind of fire real quickly.
There was some guy on Twitter that was so mad at us. He called us like idiots in our stupid opinion. And the guy owns, I think, a Note 10.
He owns a freaking Note phone. Like,
yeah, it was a Note 10. And because his specific model didn't have the update yet, we were idiots and stupid, and our opinion was invalid and all this stuff. I mean, this guy was really mad. I feel bad for him. I don't know if he might have just been having a bad day because he was wrong.
Zachary Webb was doing some Googling as I was doing some Googling too. So S10e, 3.5 million units sold apparently. And in 2019, Google sold 7.2 million phones in total. So we're talking about Samsung's budget device sold
that
half.
No one bought.
Yeah, that no one bought. And they sold half of what Google sold in an entire year. So just so everyone is clear, Samsung sells a lot more phones than Google does. So when Samsung pushes the update, they are the kings.
It affects a lot of people.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
It affects a lot of people.
So anyway, it was just a conversation we had this week.
It was a good one too. It was thoughtful.
I think Samsung rightfully got a lot of S over the years for not updating properly. In the last couple of years, probably upwards of 3 years, they've obviously gotten faster. They've made some big promises, but they've actually stuck to it and improved where they're pushing updates. Yeah, they're pushing updates faster for longer. Yeah. Meanwhile, like you have companies like LG
who is dying because they can't update a phone to save their freaking company. It's kind of ridiculous. We've talked about this, but LG really pisses me off sometimes.
Yeah, we don't even have it as a bullet point, but I think since we've last been on air, there's rumor that LG is going to sell their mobile business, and I don't know that they've like fully backed away from those rumors and stuff. Have they? Have they put out a statement that says like this is a big lie?
I haven't seen a
couple of the reports were out of Korea, and so I'm just going, I think the end might be near for LG's mobile business, because LG prints money out of their appliance and TV businesses. Those like make, I think it's mostly appliances, but LG makes a lot of money. Not in phones. What did you wrote an article this week on it? Didn't you say over the last several years they've lost like $4 billion from their smartphone business, or $3 billion? It was something crazy.
I think it was like $5 billion. I wrote it down.
Yeah, it was going back over several years. They've lost billions on their phone.
It was 4.5 billion in the past 5 years.
Jesus. And all their other, areas, they pretty much make money. That's just a lot of money to lose every year. And I don't see there being a turnaround anytime soon. Samsung or LG hasn't done anything for a couple of years that show that they get it. I mean, software is one part of it where they've been terrible, not only with their software skin, there's no innovation or anything there. Their update situation is really awful. But like their hardware, they just keep kind of dancing around with things. They're like, maybe some YouTuber will like this, or maybe like a creator will like this. And then here, it looks cool. But none of them are serious phones. I don't want to say like everything Samsung makes is a serious phone, but LG doesn't really make anything that you should take that seriously. And so until they do, I don't really know how they're going to figure it out.
I'm totally with you on that. Like a serious, like an actual contender device. LG hasn't even come close to a phone of the year. Like I feel like in their existence of making phones.
I think like the G2, was it the G2
the G2,
the Optimus Gs and those, like they were good then.
10 freaking years ago, man.
That was a long time ago. Yeah, think about how long ago that was.
Yeah. I mean, and killing the G series for Velvet, and like the phone wasn't even like smooth. It was just really weird, and software wise, not obviously hardware was smooth, but
LG has a lot of problems that they need to figure out.
They do, and we've told them multiple times, and the offer still stands. Hire Kellen and myself, and we can turn it around for the right price. If they want to win, we can make them win. You just have to believe. I mean, we could do better than I feel like what they're doing right now. Like, it can't do any worse, right? I mean, come on, just give us.
It would be hard to do worse, yeah.
Yeah, you have to give us some time to turn around. You give us a year, at least 2 years, I'd say, and we could really actually turn things around. I just can't believe people were saying that they were talking about selling their company, like selling the mobile business. I haven't heard anything about selling because it's hard to sell something that's like that's losing $1 billion a year. I
assume they would just sell assets there. I don't know that they would sell the LG branding to somebody. I'm assuming just let's get rid of any LG manufacturing, all of that stuff. Otherwise, I'm not really sure. I don't know.
Maybe they can sell all their engineers to Google for $1 billion, and they can make the worst phone ever, like they did with HTC.
Imagine if Google did that. It was like, hey, we're gonna buy another smartphone team, this time from LG. Because that HTC team worked out so well.
Yeah, anyway. I mean, if I'm a company, I just don't know. We'll see. I mean, hey, I hope they get it together, right? And that was the main takeaway. I did a kind of a big piece about it and gave in a few bullet points as to what maybe they can improve upon. And the main takeaway I hope that people got is that they can do better. If I think they really put their minds to it, if they apply themselves, like I did in high school.
Firing mobile CEOs every year and things like that.
Exactly. So Kylo Tech says if they were LG's CEO, they would hire us in a heartbeat. So that's good to know. Someone would hire us. That's good. Someone likes our ideas. Dude, and it's not rocket science, man. It's just like software and updates. Like, I'm ditching the UI and I'm giving people 3 years of like guaranteed timely updates. And boom, I'm already selling phones. It's easy. It's that easy, dude.
It's that easy. Wish it was that easy. All right, so switching gears out of failing mobile companies to
bye.
I don't know that OnePlus is still killing it. I don't know that they are, but former OnePlus co-founder now, Carl Pei, announced his new company this week. The company is called Nothing. That's actually the name. He called it Nothing.
So pretentious.
It's just so stupid. So I think Carl and some of his co-founder, or at least backers, think it's very clever. Those backers include like Tony Fadell, who is the Nest guy.
Scheiße.
I think he made an iPod or something. Kevin Lin of Twitch, Steve Huffman of Reddit. There's some people there. So they put in some money, $7 million round of funding, which if you're starting a new hardware company, I don't know that that's a lot, but maybe it's just enough to get going. So Carl Pei called his new company Nothing. And I think they're going to kind of run it just like OnePlus. Like he announced it, and they wouldn't announce anything that they're actually doing. It was just an announcement that they have a company called Nothing, and they tried to do all these like clever marketing word phrasing, whatever, to use the word nothing. Like, we looked for the future and reached, but we found nothing. Like, that seriously is something they said. Like, it's so cheesy. What's the word that the young kids use? It's cringe.
Sure, it's a little sus and cringe.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So we think they're probably just making headphones to start. At least I think Wired thinks that's what they're making. But Carl was quick to point out that it's so much more than that. That's a quote, by the way. So they'll make headphones. They'll probably make a speaker. It'll probably be designed nicely. They said they're gonna use all their own components rather than just other people's components. I'm guessing they're just going to slap whatever Qualcomm has available and then design around it, because Qualcomm is kind of the one that sells everyone like headphone products at this point.
I like Nick Fisher. Nick Fisher, real quick in the chat, says, "quote We've tried nothing and we're already out of ideas." I love that. That's classic. Thank you, Nick.
It is. So they. My guess is that it's the same marketing playbook as OnePlus had, where you don't really announce something, but you keep in the headlines so that everyone knows you still exist. So they'll keep doing what we call the troll out of ideas surrounding this company and all of that stuff. If they just make a bunch of headphones and like who cares, dude? Everyone makes headphones.
Seriously.
I know it's again, quote, it's so much more than that, Tim. But okay.
I couldn't even tell you what he did for OnePlus, so
well, he was a hype man for OnePlus, that's for sure.
And I'm not big on hype men.
I mean, I'm not a big hype man guy. I think Carl had a decent presence at OnePlus. I don't know the inner workings. I definitely do not have the closest of close relationships to OnePlus. I think he early on for sure was a big part of that. My assumption is, and I think he's kind of denied this already. I mean, people said he had a falling out with Pete Lau and that's why he left. He said in an interview this week that he was just ready to move on and do something new. He had been there for a long time and the company had grown into being a bigger company than he wanted to kind of be with. And so I think like early on, Carl Pei had this vision of OnePlus, like minimalism. Like I think one of the early interviews he did with OnePlus, he was like, I'm just this simple dude, right? And I live in an apartment, like temporary apartments, because I'm moving around and I only have like 3 t-shirts. I'm not kidding either. This was like, I don't know if he still lives this way, but he was like, I'm an ultra minimalist, which I can appreciate. We don't all need to create a bunch of waste and all of that crap. So I think like it makes a lot of sense. Early on, that was his idea, was like minimalism, where we focus on this one thing and clever marketing. And then OnePlus grew, right? And they want to sell 1 million mid-range crappy phones plus some high-ends, and they just want to throw crap out there, right? And Carl, I don't think like that doesn't seem like his style at all. So it doesn't surprise me that he would leave and go do something. I'm just making fun of nothing because like the name is just like, come on. And like the early marketing, I'm just like I want to roll my eyes constantly at it, but maybe they'll come up with something great. Maybe the headphones will be amazing. Anyway, so Carl Pei announced a company called Nothing. That was way too long of a segment. I apologize.
Jesus.
All right, let's talk about other unimportant things. Sony announced the Xperia Pro this week. It is a phone/monitor that you would use on your camera, and it costs $2,500. I repeat, the Sony Xperia Pro costs $2,500.
Yeah, it's got a 6.5-inch 4K 21:9 aspect ratio OLED display. So, I mean, 3840 by 1644. It's interesting.
Isn't it just a Xperia 1 Mark II with a bigger case and an HDMI port?
Yes. It's got the Snapdragon 865 processor, not the 865 Plus. Triple rear-facing cameras. 5G connectivity, especially designed for Verizon and its millimeter wave. Android 10, $2,500.
I mean, the sales pitch is really for people who have Sony cameras, and they want you to attach it to your Sony camera as an external monitor. It has HDMI, and they're trying to sell it as you can use 5G to like live stream in 4K and upload whatever. I mean, that's the type of 5G
not for you
though.
Yeah,
I mean, and that's the type of 5G that's millimeter wave, which doesn't really exist anywhere. I'm looking at this promo image where they have it set up, and this dude's clearly, I think, at the coast, and he's filming, and like there's no millimeter wave at the coast, so you're not going to get the experience they're showing right there. And he's live streaming and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Clearly this phone is not built for anyone except professional video photographer, people who happen to use Sony equipment, because otherwise, like, it's not for me, it's not for you. It's for people who need an external monitor for their Sony, and they don't want to just buy an external monitor. They will also want it to double as a phone.
MT Bags makes an interesting point. Says this Sony phone is what the red phone should have been. Totally. Like the red phone was such a
Probably.
gimmicky mess, and really it should have been like an external monitor for those really fancy red cameras. Like that would have made so much more sense. I think you could.
Red phone.
What? Oh yeah.
I just like the thought of that whole debacle just makes me laugh. Anyway, that's a good point. Actually, this is what the red phone probably should have been. Yeah.
Exactly. And maybe you could do that. I couldn't even tell you what the red phone was capable of, and I actually
Nothing.
reviewed the thing. Like it was so shitty.
Oh,
Anyway,
wow.
but yeah, so 2500. I'm on the list maybe to get one. I don't know why. I could actually maybe use it because, oh, like that's actually kind of a cool idea. I could hook it up to my A series that I use for our streams, and I don't know, that'd be cool. But
I mean, external monitors come in handy, so I get why people have them. This one's just really expensive because
Totally.
it doubles as a phone and has 5G millimeter wave.
Exactly. And Scott says MKBHD will be its only buyer, which is untrue because he does not use. Well, I don't know
He doesn't
what
use
he's
Sony
using,
stuff,
but yeah,
I
he
don't
uses
think.
Red. So I don't know if, and yeah, so I don't know, and I don't care. Sorry, I just don't know. And also, he wouldn't have to freaking buy it; they would just give it to him. So, dang it.
All right, so another news, the Google Pixel 4a 5G now comes in white if you want the unlocked version. Remember, initially when it launched, you could only get white from Verizon with the millimeter wave, and it costs an extra $100. Now the unlocked Pixel 4a 5G comes in white, costs $459. Actually, I think it's on sale right now for it's $40 off, $459. Sorry, it's $499 right now. It's on sale for $459. I don't know what I was saying there. And then our final little bit of news: Sling TV, streaming TV service, is raising prices because that's what streaming TV services do. They raise prices. Sling TV, we knew this one was coming. So back in July of last year, they said, hey, everyone else is raising prices. We're not. Lock in right now to our guarantee where you won't see any price hikes for a year. Like they were telegraphing the fact that they were going to raise prices very soon. They were just trying to be the one right now that wasn't. So this week they announced that they indeed are raising prices, $5 on most of the plans, $1 for all the extra plans, those sort of things. Unless you locked in for that year, you have till July, and then your price will go up. So again, like every streaming TV service, the prices keep going. I mean, they said, TV providers are raising their prices, so they have to raise prices. It sucks. I Comcast is probably behind it all. Blame them for everything.
Terrible.
It is. So that's it for topics. Trivia? Y'all want to do some trivia?
Y'all ready for this? Cool.
It's trivia time. Yes, Tim has the lights on.
Stretch it out.
It's a Sony edition trivia. So we have 5 questions. We will put each one up on the screen. Tim will also read them aloud. If you're live with us on YouTube, you just hit the chat. And when that question goes up, you answer correctly first. And if we see you first correctly, we will call your name out and you will win. And this week we're giving away $10 in Google Play credit to everyone. So the rules are simple. I think you guys get it. I think you guys have been here enough. You know how to do this.
Yeah, I'm just going to readjust in my really comfortable Ewin racing chair.
Dan Perkins and 144p gang. Love to see that.
Gang.
Yeah,
so
you don't necessarily need your video on. So if you want that crispy audio connection with the low latency, refresh, turn the video off, whatever you got to do. You just got to be able to hear it and type.
Yeah. This week we have the Sony edition. So all Sony related questions. So hopefully everyone brushed up on their Sony knowledge that they didn't know that they were going to have to brush up on.
Yeah, that you never thought you'd have to brush on. Shout out Bertzer. I haven't seen Bertzer today.
Oh yeah, this would be Bertzer's freaking week, man.
It would be.
Yes. Non-Rev Guy says sponsored by Sony, not sponsored by Ewin Racing Gaming Chairs. 30% off using the code Droid Life. So shout out to them.
Yeah, shout out Ewin again.
Hey,
I'm telling you, you could get a
Bertzer.
$300 chair for like $200. Oh, Bertzer is here. What up, Bertzer? It's your trivia, Bertzer
This
edition.
is your week, dude. All right, cool, man. Well, I'm ready when you are.
All right, question number 1 is up now.
What processor powered the 2014 Sony Xperia Z3 Compact, one of Kellen's favorite Sony devices? What processor was in the
Still
Xperia
have it.
Z3 Compact? I'm seeing the correct answer. We're looking for Snapdragon 801, and I'm seeing it from Dan Perkins.
Yeah. 144p gang, Dan Perkins. See, he knows how to play.
Give him the.
That was easy.
Dan was quick. I mean,
Nice.
if you guys need proof that the 144p gang is a thing, look no further than Dan. He called it out and then was fast.
Dang.
Snapdragon 801. I have that phone actually. I think in the
Somewhere.
closet, just right over there. I think the back's cracked. I think that's the red one I have with the cracked
Yes.
back. Yeah.
Yep. Dang. Well, hey, congratulations, Dan Perkins. We're just
Good job,
gonna
Dan.
keep it going here with the what's the I don't know what I was.
Question number two.
Question number 2, please. I was
Question
reading
number
Scott's
2 is
comment.
up now.
What is the internal code name for the Xperia 1 Mark II? Again, what is the internal code name for the Xperia 1 Mark II? And fun fact, this is the same code name as the Snapdragon 865 processor.
What?
Say what?
Are you guys Googling this?
God, I hope so.
There we go.
So we're looking for the correct answer of Kona, and I'm seeing it from Daniel Hunter Jacobs.
Yep.
Correct answer.
Daniel Hunter Jacobs.
Kona. Nice, congratulations, Kona. Of course. What is that? The big island in Hawaii?
I
One
know
of the
nothing
islands?
about Hawaiian trivia other than I've been there, but I couldn't tell you.
Boy, I need to go back.
Yeah, that'd be nice if we could get out of a pandemic so I could travel somewhere again.
I keep forgetting we're in a pandemic. I need to get that vaccine, man.
Yeah, me too.
One day.
It's gonna be a while. One day.
It's gonna be a while. Yep.
Day.
Awesome. Well, hey, congratulations, Dan. You got yourself $10. Oh, Google.
Couple of Dans. We got any other Dans that can win today?
Oh, yeah. Let's keep it going. All right. Question number 3 when you're ready.
Question number 3 is up now.
What was the name of the tough-to-spell display tech Sony incorporated in past Xperia smartphones? And we need proper spelling. What was the name of the tough-to-spell? And, like, it's phonetical or phonetic, but still, like, it's just a weird word, and I don't like it at all. So what was the name of the tough-to-spell display tech Sony incorporated in past Xperia smartphones? And this is going to take me a second because I can say it a lot better than I can spell it. And we're looking for triluminous. See, everyone goes OUS. and that's just,
Yeah, it's the OUS is gonna get everyone. No
Yeah.
one's gonna get it right, are they? They're all going that because you would think that's how you would spell it.
Exactly. Now we're still looking for it, but that's okay. Yeah, Michael with the old cinema wide 4K. Nope.
Nice.
I think I just saw it. Triluminous.
My chat's like frozen.
Luminous.
Oh, there we go.
I do believe I got it from Non-Rev Guy.
Non-Rev Guy's
Yeah.
first.
Yeah, Non-Rev Guy. All right, congratulations, man. Non-Rev Guy. And like once Non-Rev Guy, everyone was getting it. So
I feel bad for Burtzer on that one because Burtzer was super quick with Triluminous, which you would expect from
Yes.
Burtzer, but he went with the OUS, which most people did at first.
Yep.
Weirdly, it is just OS. I don't know who created this word, but it is not proper, and that I would have typed it the exact same way.
Yep. Sorry, everybody.
Non-Rev Guy, who I think, never mind.
Video win. All right. Well, that was fun. That was a good question. I like that. All right. Let's keep it going. Yeah, that's what they use for their TVs. You're absolutely right. That too.
Oh, they still do.
Yeah. All right. Question number 4, please. Let's keep it rolling.
Question number 4 is up now.
Oh, this was a nice phone. What version of Android did the Xperia Play, aka the PlayStation phone, launch with? Again, what version of Android did the Xperia Play, aka the PlayStation phone, the original, launch with? And I'll take the dessert name or the actual Android version.
So
We're looking
long
for 2.3 or gingerbread. I'm seeing it from William Perella.
William Perella's first there.
Gingerbread, Android 2.3. Man, that's been a while. Can you believe a PlayStation phone was launched?
So long ago. We talk about this every once in a while, how they should have like made another one of those, but
Totally.
probably not a huge market for it, but it was a fun idea at first.
Yeah.
It was one of the few that was almost a stock Android experience at the time too. That's why we were weirdly excited about it, and then it launched and was not very good. Did you review that phone? I thought
You did. I think you did.
Did I? Oh,
I wasn't
maybe
reviewing phones back then. I don't think you trusted me enough.
That was that long ago, wasn't it?
That was a long time
Crazy.
ago. Gingerbread, man. Real quick, I'm just, I'm just checking in here on Scott McDonald's guesses. Just want to make sure we got this right.
He said lollipop.
Yeah, he had a few guesses, but they were all
they were
wrong. So sorry, Scott. Yeah, William, congratulations, man. Scott, keep trying, man. One day you're gonna get $10 of Google Play credit. All right, last one. This is an easy question. Well, maybe, I guess, if you know.
That was easy.
Yeah, let's see what happens. All right, question number 5, please.
Question number 5 is up now.
What city is home to Sony's U.S. headquarters? Again, what city is home to Sony's U.S. headquarters?
I mean, you can just randomly guess this and probably get it right.
Yeah, it's not Chicago. Very, very interesting.
That'd be our friends in Moto.
I am seeing
Nandan?
Yeah, do I take I'll take NY. Nandan Kumar with the correct answer of NY, New York. New York.
I'll take it.
Yeah. Hey, big old dono from Charles W, aka PC 747.
PC 747.
$25 donation. Thank you so much, Charles. Speaking of which, we're contemplating next show. We will have our charity selected for 2021.
Oh, okay.
I keep forgetting about our gosh darn charity. So thank you, Charles. And Nandan, congratulations. You got I got carried away there. NY.
Nandan Kumar, NY. Yes, Charles, thank you for the huge dono. Jeez Louise. Good show today. Enjoy a cold or warm drink. I'm not a warm drink kind of guy, I don't think. Every once in a while, a toddy, maybe.
A toddy?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I drink coffee hot. But like, if we're talking boozy beverages, the hot drink thing, no. Cold.
No, not for booze. No.
Yeah.
I'm on
though.
I'm on the old Whole30 diet again, so no alcoholic drinks for me.
Brutal.
Well, dude, man, I'm freaking packing on the gut. I need to.
Yeah, we don't really get out much these days.
Yeah, I need to trim it down, you know. But yeah. Oh, warm sake. I do like warm sake.
That's true. I do like warm sake.
Yeah.
That is true. All right, there's a few things there. A little Rumple Mints and hot chocolate. That's actually not bad there. I used to drink a lot. This sounds awful. I don't mean I used to drink a lot of Rumple Mints, but when I was younger, I used to go out at night. Like the last drink of the night was always like just a little shot of Rumple Mints because I thought it would like settle the stomach. But that stuff is like 150 proof. It's awful. And now the smell of Rumple Mints, no, I can't do it anymore. But in some hot chocolate, maybe a little mint in there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, cold sake is better than warm sake, yes, because warm sake is the bad, cheap crap sake that you just warm up to drink. Cold sake is the good stuff, yes.
Yes.
So I do agree with you there, but we're talking warm drinks. There's few.
Right. Another thing, are we going to have a show before the the big game happens? Sorry, not trying to get our freaking channel blocked.
Well, that's what, next weekend, right?
February 7th.
Yeah, next weekend.
So
I don't know if we're gonna have a show before that. Maybe because we might have reviews up or something.
Well, let's say if we don't have a show, let's just pick our winners real quick. And who we think is going to win. Who's going to win the big game?
I mean, I just hope it's Kansas City because I don't ever cheer for Tom Brady to win anything. So
really, wow,
never. He's like one of the worst. I
gotta go with the GOAT. I gotta go Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Bucks,
pseudoscience
man.
weirdo. Like, no, Tom Brady's a weirdo.
I don't care about
His,
any
like,
of that stuff. I
his,
care about
his like
his
whack job
on-field.
trainer that pushes pseudoscience, and he like sells like recovery like the dude is a weirdo. Like Tom Brady's awful. I won't deny that he's the greatest quarterback ever. Dude is a weirdo. I don't know how anyone could cheer for that guy.
Well, it must be working. He's like 50 years old and he's in the Super Bowl, man. It's working for him.
He's had a lot of good offensive lines to protect him.
And you know, I don't like. I know like that's true, but I also see that as sort of like a cop out, like to like take away from his accomplishments. He moves when he needs to move.
He's a weirdo. He will go down as the greatest quarterback ever. Dude,
but a weirdo. A weirdo.
Oh, yeah.
See, I can't stand Patrick Mahomes and his new haircut commercial, so I'm just I gotta go again. Plus, he beat the 49ers, and I'm like still,
Mahomes
still really pissed about
Mahomes
it.
is such a beast, though. The dude's like 16. Like he's gonna be as long as he doesn't get injured, he'll just surpass Brady, and I'll be happy with that.
He is awesome. He's a total freak. And I cannot wait to see Deshaun Watson join the 49ers here in the offseason. And then we're going to have our own little freak, and it's going to be Deshaun Watson versus Patrick Mahomes in every Super Bowl for the next 10 years. And I can't wait.
I'm fine with that as long as Tom Brady's not in there anymore.
Yeah,
sorry to ruffle the feathers of the folks who are Pats fans who continue to root for the weirdo now that he's in Tampa Bay, but no, I am no Tom Brady fan, and I will probably never be.
Yeah, it's okay. Anyway,
we don't have to love the same sports people. Okay, we don't. It's fine.
Other than that, can't think of anything. I hope everyone has a freaking fantastic weekend. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay well. Tell your mom I said hello. Please
distance. We'll get through this one day. If you're offered a vaccine, please take it. All that good stuff. All right. Yeah, we might see you guys next week because there's a chance that there are phone reviews to discuss. So,
nice. Oh yeah, sorry, winners. Yeah. If you won trivia, email me. That was close. We almost had a total failure. So email me. I just put my chat down in the thingy majiggy. I put my email in the chat. So I need to hear from Nandan Kumar, William Perella, non-rev guy, go 49ers, Daniel Hunter Jacobs, and Dan Perkins.
Yes,
so
that was close.
Shout out to Eli Kuznikov. Shout out to Dave. Shout out to everybody. Thanks for joining us.
All right, guys, we will catch you soon. We're Droid Life. Peace.
Peace.